Samurai Success Community, welcome back to the Scroll. As always, I am here with CEO David Olcott. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. Ryan, always good to see you, baby.
Yeah, well, on behalf of the community, just want to extend a very big happy birthday to you. As it is your birthday
Thank you, bud.
month this month, and yeah, just want to honor and acknowledge your birthday.
I have so many people reaching out to me, so many friends. That's such a great gift to me on my birthday. I will tell you that the universe provided a spectacular enhancement to that. I love riding motorcycles. I don't know if the community knows that. I mean, I'm truly passionate about the art and do a lot of training, work with a lot of people, have a lot of friends in the community. But the universe provided a 70-degree weather day in Denver, Colorado. Now, listen, that's in 29 years of being here in Colorado, I don't remember a day I could ride my motorcycle on my birthday anytime, so it was so spectacular. I know there's a lot of conversations around, well, we don't have enough water, but thank you for that day, universe. So it was just so beautiful. I rode all the 6 o'clock in the morning. I was gone till 6 o'clock at night, man. I was on that motorcycle having a blast. So.
And the birthday is brought me a spectacular gift too, because on Friday, our executive director pulled out some incredible photos from the archive.
Yeah,
What a
thanks for
gift!
the embarrassment.
What a gift they were. And I think, to put a bit of peer pressure on you, David, I'm going to invite people to comment birthday boy down below, because I definitely do think that those photos need to be made public for sure.
Great. I'm so thankful I grew up in a time without social media because of that reason. So, yeah, but if there's enough people that want to be able to see, I'm going to have to release them. So,
Oh, good sport, good sport. Last month we teased at the very end something very special. So today we'll be talking all about the P3 assessment. One of the things I've heard you say many times here at Samurai Success, David, is that many people have the illusion of being the business owner. Maybe you can phrase that in such a way that people are listening and go, "Oh, that sounds like me."
okay. So the P cubed technology, is a remarkable tool, and it's been in development for the last 35 years of my life, kind of thing. And it just keeps getting better and better every single year. So we've had this model, we've been working it for 30 years, basically. It's been in my awareness for 35, but really sequencing this into this understanding and why they're in a particular order has revolutionized how we coach. And I will tell you that it really came from my own sense of awe that I thought I was a business owner. You know why I thought I was a business owner is because I owned all the stock and I was in control and I was doing this and I was the leader and so I thought all that made me the business owner. And I will tell you that there's a lot of that mythology still continuing today, the rest of the world. What I found was that just because you have all those things and you're the leader and everything else like this, what you really are is that you have a job, which means you're self-employed. And I was like, wait a minute, what's the discernment between being self-employed, an employee, self-employed, and a business owner or investor, sometimes known as the cash flow quadrants, right? From Rich Dad and Poor Dad, Richard Kiyosaki's work. So, what is the differentiation between all those three things? And going from self-employed to business owner, there's nothing wrong with being self-employed. My past boss, Tony Robbins, is self-employed. If Tony's not on stage, he's not making money. He's worth 500 million, maybe even more than that today. There is nothing wrong with being self-employed. What's inconvenient or inaccurate about thinking you're further ahead in the learning curve than you actually are is called the big lie. And you start acting like it, and you start thinking that you should be performing and things should be respecting where you're located in this. And it doesn't work that way. You've got to know where you're located. So the discernment between self-employed and business owner is that if you can take 3 months off at a time and not have it affect quality control and profitability, then you truly are a business owner. And I will tell you, when I look at my business, I go, I've got some work to do to be able to get there. And so that's what the last 30 years of my life has been about, creating a structure to be able to support you moving from self-employed, thinking you're a business owner, to actually being a business owner and actually manifesting results because of that identity and that discernment between those two definitions.
Yeah, I love that story. And one of the things you just mentioned there is the P cubed strategy. And what are the pillars of that strategy? And I know that this the sequencing's pretty important to you, so maybe you can tell us a bit more about that.
So the P cube strategy has been around and used in lots of different companies. I've heard them, people say it. Camping World, the president of Camping World, use a P cube strategy. He has a television show called The Profit. And his three things are in the same elements, but they're in a very different sequence. And from our coaching perspective with small and medium-sized businesses, this sequence works the best for us. We've seen it over, we've played with lots of different sequencing of it. But the P cube strategy stands for people, processes, profits in that exact sequence. And the reason for that is, yes, I do love people. There's no question about it. I study people. Now, I will tell you, as much as I love humanity, love people, I don't always like our behaviors. And there's a real discernment between that. And that's where the first part comes in. People. Well, Dave, you love people. That's why you people first. Not true. People are first is because people drive the rest of the system without them knowing that. I would have gladly put processes first, but I will tell you when I did that, it did not work. I would have put profits first. It just didn't work. People drive the entire system, and we've got to understand that. That's why people are first. Yes, I do love people. There's no question about it. But what drives this whole thing is something called your programming. Your subconscious programming drives everything you're going to do in this lifetime. And without understanding that and then being able to change that, you're not going to change the results in your life. P cubed starts with that because your belief systems drive your programming, and your belief system is like a thermostat. So if you go over to your wall, there's a thermostat over there. It's an HVAC system connected to a heater, connected to an AC unit, right? And there's this barometer that says, hey, if this thermostat, this barometer goes below this or above this, it does something. It communicates something interesting to these two different devices. So if all of a sudden you set it at 70 degrees and all of a sudden the room temperature starts getting up to 80, it communicates with the AC unit portion of that, hey, it's too high. Let's cool things off and bring it back down to 80. If it's still at 70 and all of a sudden it goes too low and starts getting too cool in the room, then it kicks on the heater and it kicks it back up to 70. I want you to imagine that, as profound as it is, that that's exactly how you work. Your brain is that belief system thermostat, and it's set at certain degrees of temperature, if you will, in every single subject of your life: money, love, weight, what things you can accomplish, what things you can accomplish, how much love you're allowed to have. Are you enough? All these belief systems you have subconsciously, this thermostat is set. And we have found that when people come to us, if you don't change that programming, you're not going to get different results. So let's go back to our metaphor. Let's imagine that 70 degrees is now set money wise at $70,000 a year. As soon as you start making $85,000 a year, your thermostat in your subconscious part of your brain, you're not even aware of this, will set that, and it will revert back to the regression of the mean. It will take you back to 70. As a matter of fact, to get to 70, it's probably going to have to go back down to 50. And it's you're like, what are you talking about? That doesn't happen. Yes, it is. It's called self-sabotage. You've experienced this. I've experienced this. And what's happening is your body is just working perfectly. Your thermostat is telling you, no, you've exceeded the limits that you're allowed to have. And until you change that thermostat, you will always revert to that thing. So if you want to make $140,000 a year, you can't have it set at 70, because you will work your butt off, get it up to 140. And then what? Guess the next year, you'll get down to zero. And both years will average out to 70. You'll get to that regression of the mean. So changing that programming sets the stage for every other aspect of the P cube model. Once you understand how you work, then you're going to have to understand how processes work, structure works, because that's what your business model is really designed to do. If you truly want to be able to go away for 3 months at a time and not have it affect quality control and profitability, then you can't be the bottleneck. You can't be involved. You have had to transfer your knowledge and information to other people who can do it at the same quality level that you can do it without you being there. Structure, processes allow you to do that. And our mapping system that allows us to really pull stuff and elicit stuff out of your head and put that down in exact sequence about how you do that creates predictability, creates that kind of profitability that you're after. That most people go, how do we do this? We figured out a way. People, processes, and then we have a measurement point. Now, Ryan, in the first 10 years of my life, dude, it was exhausting because people were counting on me to tell them what to do. Okay, Dave, you have all these years of experience and everything else like this. And, my ego was very happy to do that. It was like, let me tell you what to do. And I will tell you, that's probably the majority of coaches that are out there today. We've evolved past that because it was exhausting for me. I knew I couldn't sustain that. And I certainly couldn't train other coaches to be able to do that. What we found is this: we've built a system, a algorithm, the P cubed pillared model that says, when you do things this way with this programming and you do it with this process, you get this result. When you do it with this programming, this belief system, and this process, you get a different result. Which result do you like better? And so it's not me yelling and screaming and being passionate about telling you what to do. You're having a personal, verified experience of what you want to accomplish, which just builds confidence more in you, not depending on us as coaches, more depending on you to build that structure and actually get the results you're after in this lifetime.
I had the pleasure of interviewing one of your previous clients for a testimonial, and he said exactly that analogy is that you helped him change that thermostat.
Mm.
And it was amazing to hear. And another one of our clients talked about um, the P cubed strategy is actually supported by not just one coach, but three, which is, I think, again, something unheard of in the coaching world. Maybe you could expand on that in terms of the Samurai Success pod model.
It's interesting because if you take a look at sports, right, that's where we went to, is like high performance athletes. Who are the highest paid people on the planet? We don't realize it, but CEOs are definitely at the top of that list, but entertainers and athletes are definitely part of that list. I mean, just gazillion dollars are being paid to these very individuals. Why? Well, because they change our emotional state, right? They entertain us. They do all these kind of amazing things, but they're so high caliber of consistency. We admire that stuff. Even if they have a bad day and we want to discuss, or anything else, we still go and we're attracted to that level of excellence. So really getting to that place. So when you take a look at sports and how they're coached, you just simply break down every NFL team or every soccer team or every baseball team or any sport you can think of. There's not just one coach that fulfills all those different segments like on an NFL team. There's a head coach, there's an offensive coach, there's a defensive coach, there's a special teams coach. There's all these coaches who specialize. And the more special you get, the more you accelerate results. So we said, why reinvent the model? Let's take what already works and then just put that into a business model. So when you hire Samurai Success, you don't hire one coach, you hire three coaches, and each one of them is a specialist. And all their design, their entire career with us is specializing in those individual fields. Yes, they get some cross training with the other ones, so they understand the connections. But let me tell you, when you specialize as a head coach in psychology, and that's what you focus on, and then you specialize as a design coach in building process and systems and finding the connections of things. And then you have a coach that focuses on the financials. And by the way, those are totally different uses of your brain. You want to do that in one person, your brain's going to literally explode. I know. Years of therapy has taught me this, Ryan. So having those individual coaches all come together and cooperate and design one agenda, helping you win. That's it. That's what all that system is designed to be able to do, is help you get to results in a faster period of time.
David, I'm really excited to hear more about this P cubed assessment. Tell us more.
Yeah, so when we're sitting down with a team over the last couple of years, we were looking for something we call the gap technology, where people are located and where they really want to be able to go. Now, most entrepreneurs listening to this thing will like, I can tell you exactly where I want to go. Well, yeah, you're an entrepreneur. Of course you do. The thing you're most frustrated by is why you're not there already, right? So, but the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs is they don't know where they're actually located. Now, let's have some fun with this for just a little bit so we can kind of get a sense and experience about how valuable this tool really is. So let's imagine that you want to be able to go to California. I don't know why you want to go, but just imagine you want to go to San Francisco. By the way, I've never been there. So let's say I want to go to San Francisco. And I go, okay, great. How many ways can I get to San Francisco? Well, without any kind of limitations, I can go by truck, I can go by balloon, I can go by horse, I can go by bicycle, I can go by motorcycle. That's fine. All right. I can go by car, I can go by bus, I can go by yacht, I can go by airplane. I'm sure I can get there by glider if I just had enough stops, right? And things. So there's unlimited about abilities to be able to get to this place called Sabotage. But if I don't know where I'm coming from, or worse, if I'm under the illusion I'm located somewhere and I'm not actually located there, it changed my entire plan of action, my resource tactical plan to be able to get there. I'll give you an example. Let's imagine I want to go to San Francisco. I imagine I'm in Texas, but the reality is I'm actually in Florida. Now, just those two states differential in the landscape of California to Texas, California to Florida, it changes all the timing and resources I need to be able to get there. So if you're really clear about where you are or where we want to go, you think you know where you want to be able to go. That's why this assessment tool is really, really helpful. It really shows you, as long as you're brutally honest. By the way, let me be really clear. If you get on there and you just type in some stuff so you want to make yourself feel good, okay, there it's there for you. But if you're really serious about making 2026 a year of really making change, not talking change anymore, not pretending you're doing, not creating the story, real change, this assessment really gives you an opportunity to see where you're actually located in comparison to where you want to be able to go. And more importantly, it gives you a very clear structural pillar of which to begin from. This way, if whether you work with us or not, at least you know about, oh, this is the stuff I need to really work on. If you are interested in working with us, we then know how we can be a best fit for you. So it's a really great combination of taking 3 or 4 minutes out of your life kind of stuff, sitting down, doing that assessment, which is free, by the way, and really getting a sense of where you might be missing out on stuff and a place to really focus on to have the biggest difference this year.
David, I've heard you say on a couple of occasions that sometimes coaching is most effective when people are open to external help. What is it about this process that can really be of benefit to the business owner?
Well, let's talk about the reason why you wouldn't want to get involved in coaching. And the reason for it is that our egos all want to tell us that we already know all this stuff. And by the way, there is an aspect of you that does know these things. But let's step back for a minute. Have you ever had that personal experience where, for whatever reason, when you're talking to somebody else, you can so clearly see in the other person the things that are missing, the things that they need to be working on, but they're just totally blind to it. They can't, they don't even understand what the hell you're. Does anybody have kids? Okay, you're having this experience that we just do as adults later on is because it's really difficult to be able to see things that are so close to us. That is the power of coaching. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's what I have friends for. Listen, a lot of your friends are very well meaning, right? And they want to be able to tell you the things you want to know. But if you just keep getting feedback about the things you already know and the things that you should be encouraged to do, you're going to keep getting the same results. The reason why you'd want to hire a coach is because we can clearly see from lots of different years of experience and this pillar system that we're talking about, the PQ model, we can diagnose very clearly what you need to focus on to have the biggest impact this year. So having that external source without an attachment to an outcome, without judgments, is your best source to be able to really identify the things you need to focus on. You've all heard of the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the things you need to do to be able to get 80% of the results. We have an entire system called our design team that does nothing but find that 20% in your business. No questions, no guessing kind of stuff. This is science that says when you do these 20 things, this is the result you get. When you do these 19 things, this is the result you get. When you do these 15 things, whoa, those other 5 things you just missed were the difference makers between year 2024, 25, and 26. You don't have to keep making those same mistakes. So really, the power of the coaching that we do with our clients is getting you really clear where you are. You already know where you want to be able to go, and then building a resource plan to help you get from where you are to where you want to go in the fastest period possible.
David, there's business owners listening to this right now. They're ready to take the next step. What do you advise that they do?
Wow. let's really talk about this. Best thing that you can do as a business owner in 2026 is really sit down with yourself and truly get committed like you've never gotten committed before. That's the first thing you got to really do. You really got to sit down and say, am I worthy enough to be able to really create the results I've always dreamt of and everything? Because listen, you know how fast 2025 went. A lot of people are like, thank God 2025 is gone. Listen, 2026 is not going to be any shorter period of time. We're going to turn around and go, it's November already. And then it's going to be 2027. And you're going to do the same thing. Our clients aren't experiencing that. They're experiencing, oh my God, the structure we put in place and the results we're getting for this. I can't wait for this next month. I can't wait for this next week. I can't wait for this next day. The anticipation, the excitement they get from that is a real experience. This isn't just hype or marketing or anything else. We're experiencing this with our clients. So if that is something that sounds good to you and you really want to make a difference, here's the one biggest thing that I feel to share with you guys that you can make the biggest difference. Sit down, spend 3 or 4 minutes of your time, click the link, and go to the special assessment. It's absolutely free. You can do this on your phone. We can't make it even more convenient for you guys. So you got to do some part on your side. But we spent 30 years refining this assessment test. It's brilliant. It is absolutely stunning. It blows me away every single time I do it. And believe me, I was not the only one involved in creating this. It is a masterpiece of being able to, it's just 20 questions though, Dave. I mean, how is it that? Because we refined this and refined this. That's 450 businesses we worked with. 50,000 people have instructed us about how to truly elicit information that can benefit you. Take a couple minutes, take the special assessment, get that information, and then reach out to us.
I'm really excited. This is an exclusive opportunity for the community. We have shared this here for the first time. No one has heard this. No one has had the opportunity to do this until now. So do as David suggests. Click the link in the show notes. Take the assessment. I highly recommend it. And David, would just be honored if you'd leave us a final thought from your good self.
You're hearing it for the first time because you're an exclusive community that really we feel wants to make the biggest difference. And if you really want to make the biggest difference, you got to work on you, then work on your business. And once you have the resources, then you can expand that into your community and your state and your nation and the world as you like it. So, but starting with you first, this first most important investment you're going to make is in you, then in your business and following forward. So the idea here is really how much pain do you really need to have to be able to make a change? And I think that's what a lot of our clients are giving us feedback because they're finally done with this. Because one of the great quotes I've heard in my life is you get out of life what you tolerate. And a lot of our clients or new clients that are coming on board that we've not met before all over the world are saying, I'm done. They're saying in lots of different ways, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You've heard the term before. That's called no more tolerating this. And if you're really at that place where you really want to make a difference, I hear you. I know that you've been promised stuff your whole life. I know you've been promised solutions to stuff. I know I get it because I've been in this field for the last 35 years. I know what's going on out there. I really wanted to build something different, and we've done that. Come talk to us, see if we're the real deal. You make the assessment, but you got to pick up the phone. You got to take the special assessment. You got to do some work to get here and reach out to us. And when you do that, you'll find out if we're the real deal or not. And if we're not, move on, get it going on. And if you find that we're the real deal for you and you're committed and we're a great fit, then let's get it on because 2026 could be a fabulous year.
It's on. I knew that was coming. I love it. I'm ready. I'm here for it. It is on. Samurai Success Community, thank you for being here with us. Please do please do share with someone that you wish to inspire and encourage to take the P3 assessment too. And yeah, as always, David, what a pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
Ryan, as always, good to see you, baby.